Good morning, world. Here it is Tuesday. My days are going to be mixed up now because I didn't start on a Monday yesterday. For those of you here in the US, I hope you had a fantastic Memorial Day weekend. Of course, we didn't have the greatest weather here in Maine, but it's nice to have that 3-day weekend. But I do hope you took a little bit of time, just a few moments, to reflect on the significance of why we even have Memorial Day off, what we're recognizing, and the brave and the courageous sacrifices, the men and the women in our armed forces, in our rescue, all of the people that have given their lives in the service of others. So that's real bravery, putting yourself on the line for other people every day of your life. So thank you to the families that lived with that sacrifice, the choices that their loved ones have made. So it's Tuesday, time to get back into the real world for just a little bit. Now that it's the unofficial start of summer, things will lighten up a little bit, hopefully for a little bit, right? So today's bit of bravery, I am going to share a story that really put me out of my comfort zone. It was when my children were much younger. My son Sean was probably maybe fourth or fifth grade. So that would have been, can't even do the math. It was quite a while ago. He would be 28 this year. So third, fourth, fifth grade, that was quite a while ago. So he had a best friend, Ethan, and Ethan's family had a camp up north. And Sean wanted to go up. They went up and they would spend a good portion of the summer up there. And Sean was invited up for a week. But I would have to drive him up. Now, I don't mind driving long distances now. Back then, I wasn't really comfortable with it. Now, there were a couple of things that kind of contributed to my discomfort. Good morning, Mary. The first one is that it was very far. So here in Maine and in New England, frequently we talk about driving distances in terms of time rather than miles. And Ethan's mom had told me it was about a 2-hour drive. So that could be anywhere from 90 to 120, 130 miles, depending on the quality of the roads and how fast you could travel. It was going up north where things were more rural. So I'm thinking, wow, if the car breaks down, I'm going to be by myself. This was back before cell phones, so it's not like I had an opportunity to call someone, even if there were cell signals up there. But Sean really wanted to go, and okay, I'll do this. Act number one was making the commitment to drive him 2 hours, who knew how many miles, up north to spend a week with his friend at camp. So I'm over at Ethan's house and his mom is giving me directions and I'm writing them down. And she's, you can't miss it. You can't miss it. I must have heard that a dozen times. And I'm thinking to myself, and I'm pretty sure that I even said this more than once. Hey, Sherry. Hey, Diane. I'm sure that I said this more than once. Yes, I could miss it. And are you sure this is enough detail for me? She assures me you can't miss it. Yeah, you know what happens, right? Yeah, I missed it. So I was doing fine. I was on the highway. I was heading up north. Things were going good. Sean and I are chatting. It's very fun. The directions say take 27 in Farmington. Okay, so we had just crossed into the Farmington. I saw the sign for it. There was 27. Oh, you can't miss it. I found it. We get on 27 and we're driving and we're driving and we're driving some more. And we were at about 2 hours. And I'm thinking, okay, I tend to drive slow, but what's going on here? We keep driving. I'm starting to get worried because now is about the time that Ethan's mom would be expecting us to arrive at their camp. I'm not seeing any of the signs for our next turn. We keep driving and we keep driving because, like I said, this is rural Maine. There was no one to ask. There was nothing. There were no stores. And I'm thinking, please don't let the car break down. Please don't let us break down. Finally saw a little antique shop on the left-hand side of the road. So we pulled in. I walked inside and, Sean just starts looking around and he's picking up little gadgets and little rusty things and wheels and stuff. And I went over to the clerk and I said, excuse me, I think I'm lost. I brought in my paper that had the directions on it, kind of like, does this make any sense to you? And the woman looked at them and she says, that doesn't sound like here. And I'm thinking, oh, great. I didn't have a map. Yes, I know, stupid, my fault. I didn't have a map though. She looked and she found an old gazetteer under the counter. It was 5 or 10 years old. It was not a current one, but figured, hey, how much have the roads changed up here? We pulled it out and we started looking on the map. So as 27, if it's going up this way, at the start of Farmington, 27 turns this way. So I'm way over here. But 27 also continues up this way, and then it turns off up here. So I was about 2 inches further southeast on the map than I needed to be. I think that's what the orientation was. So yeah, I wasn't where I needed to be. There's an expression here in Maine, you can't get there from here. And I couldn't. There was no quick and easy shortcut to go from where I was over here to where I needed to be. So we got in the car, we went back on 27, headed back towards Farmington, got into Farmington, continued up through Farmington, saw another sign for 27, followed that, and then things started to make sense. We were about an hour and a half to 2 hours late. My friend, she was a little bit concerned about us, but of course she didn't have a phone at the camp. They were swimming, the boys were swimming in the pond, and she was, kind of pacing, looking to see if we were arriving. Oh my goodness. It was an amazingly traumatic and dramatic ride. It took a bit of bravery for me to agree to bring Sean up there. Pretty much the worst things that could happen, except for the car breaking down, did happen. We got lost. But the thing I learned was I was still okay. I figured it out. It took longer to get there, but Sean and I had a special little adventure. I had to work hard not to let all of my anxiety show. Don't know how successful I was at that, but I remember making that attempt to, be bubbly. And even though my heart is like this of, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, where are we going? So yeah, but what a great adventure. And now it's a favorite story of mine to always bring a map, know where I'm going. Just because someone says you can't miss it, you can. People will. They do. So when you're giving someone directions, give lots of landmarks. People will laugh when I give them directions because I give so many landmarks and they'll say, yeah, you couldn't miss getting here. Exactly. That's what I'm going for. I want you to know exactly how to get to my house, exactly how to get to wherever it is I'm giving you directions to. Of course, now with cell phones and GPS and Google Maps, it's not quite as stressful. And of course, we have our phones with us so that if we need to call for help, we always can. Of course, I wonder, I never use my phone as a phone, so I don't know that it really would even occur to me. Have to think about that one a little bit. Do you ever find yourself not even thinking of your phone as a phone? It's more for browsing the web, texting, doing all of those great things. But long story short, and I know it's too late for that because this has been a long story, Sean had an amazing time. And, oh, Mary piped in. She and I took a road trip with our moms in 2010, I think it was. We had a great time. Mary was the pilot, I was the navigator, and we had a fantastic time. And so thank you. Thank you for that, Mary. But we didn't say that we'd never get lost, did we? And I do believe we probably did get a little, took the scenic route a couple of times. Sean had an amazing week up there. I did not have to go back up there to pick him up. Ray and the boys, her boys, were coming back to check in at the house and catch up with laundry or something like that. But it was an amazing adventure. And one thing that's really kind of ironic, coincidental, when Earl and I started hiking, we drive up past that place in Farmington frequently. And so whenever I see 27 heading off this way, I'm thinking, yeah, don't go that way. It goes to nowhere that I need to be right now. So take a look at where you are on your map, where you want to be, plot your course, and go boldly off on your adventure. That's my bit of bravery today, and I will see you tomorrow. Have a great day, and thanks for watching.